Alright guys, so this is going to be a video showcasing every single mod and customization that I've done to the CFMOTO 450SS, and this is all going to be raw, unedited. There is no script, so just hang in there with me and let's go through the breakdown. But before we begin, all I ask is that you do like this video and consider subbing because it will help me out a lot, and I do have a lot of cool stuff lined up for this channel, so stay tuned for that. Okay, so the most noticeable difference between my bike and a normal 450SS is this windscreen right here. And y'all guys ask about this thing all the time, so here it is. It costs around $200. It is a bit expensive, and it's relatively easy to install, and it makes a world of a difference in terms of looks. And I think it really makes it look like a sport bike and not like a naked, kind of similar to what the 450 NK looks like with the tiny windshield. But yeah, there's tons of colors you can choose from. I just got the white one, and of course all products will be linked down below, so I don't want to say that every time, but I mention it right now. Aside from looks, it actually does block a decent amount more wind. It hits me a little bit higher compared to the stock windshield. The only complaints is that when you do have your handlebars full locked to one side, the brake lever will kind of hit it, but it's pretty rare whenever you do full lock your handlebars that way. So yeah, I don't think it's that big of a negative in my opinion. And if you are going to get the white one and you have the white CFMOTO, just keep in mind that it's a little bit of an off-white color. It doesn't perfectly match. It's not super noticeable, but if you're up close and you're nitpicking at stuff like that, you will see it. And for the next one is honestly the cheapest and best looking mod that you can do. It costs around $25, and it's this little winglet right here under the front windshield, I guess you would say. And it's super cool because it comes in a bunch of different colors. And it does nothing other than look cool. It's not like the bike needs more aero, but I mean, why not? It's a super easy install. It's held in by one screw and two bolts on the side of the fairings. It honestly feels like CFMOTO designed it, even though they didn't. It's just Chinese designed, but it looks and it fits perfectly on there. It's one of the best mods that I can recommend for just the looks of it. It really makes the bike look a lot more aggressive. Okay, so this next mod is actually one of the very first ones that I ever did on this bike, and it's a tail tidy that costs around $30. It's super easy to install. There's a bunch of videos out there, so I'm not going to show you how to do it because it takes a little bit of time, but it's super worth it. It gets rid of that chunky one that for European standards or whatnot, and it just changes the whole rear end of this bike. It looks a lot better in my opinion, and the LEDs are actually pretty bright, but functionality wise, I have been told that you can't really tell if it's left or right from a distance. But I mean, it's more for looks. If you're worried about safety, I don't recommend this one. I'm sure there's a few other ones that have their turn signals a little bit wider, but this one was just perfect in my opinion. Okay, so this next one is super controversial. I have a lot of people that love it, a lot of people that hate it, but I think it's amazing. It does nothing for the bike other than just looking cool in my opinion, and it's this Semspeed carbon fiber front disc brake cover, and it costs around $150 or so, and it's actually real carbon fiber. It's not the fake vinyl dipped or whatever you want to call it. It's real, and it actually looks pretty good up close and in person. A lot of people hate on me for having this on the bike, and it makes sense that you will never get the brakes hot enough on street riding unless you're, I don't know, Valentino Rossi or something, for this to actually be beneficial. But the only reason I really do love it, it reminds me of Tron so much, and I mean, anybody who loves Tron gets it, you know. And since we're already on the subject of talking about carbon fiber, I have a ton of different parts and pieces on this bike that are actual real carbon fiber that I will link below, but I'm not going to go into detail on every single one because it's kind of pointless. But I do recommend all the ones that I did buy. They look super high quality and they're super affordable and really do change the look of the bike. A lot of people think it's dumb to spend that much money on carbon fiber for an entry-level bike, but if you plan on keeping the bike and you care about the way it looks, I don't see the problem with it. This bike's not going anywhere. I'm keeping it. It's a great bike, great daily to ride, so why not? Why would I not want to spend money on it, you know? Okay, so this next one is a must-do if you care about comfort or if you are a taller rider like I am myself. I'm 6 feet tall, an actual 6 feet tall, I'm not lying about that. And this seat has made riding this bike so much more enjoyable. My legs are not as crunched up, and even though it's only like, I think, half an inch taller than the stock seat, I just feel so much better to ride with. And I did purchase this through AliExpress. None of these links are sponsored or anything, I promise, but I paid $70 for this, compared to if you were to buy it from CFMOTO directly. If you're in the United States, it would cost you around like $170, I think, or something like that. But this is a legit CFMOTO branded seat. It is for the SR compared to the United States where it says SS, but it's the same exact bike, just branded differently. Which actually brings me down to the next upgrades that I did, which is the brake and clutch lever along with the lever guards. They are CFMOTO branded. It's from their brand, but I bought it from AliExpress again and saved a ton of money. I have no idea why it's so much cheaper, but it comes in the same packaging it would if you bought it from the CFMOTO warehouse in America. I'm not sure why it's so much more expensive to buy it from CFMOTO USA directly. Maybe it's something about shipping, or maybe they just want to make a ton more profit. But regardless of what it is, I think these are high quality products and they feel a lot better than the stock ones. Not that there's nothing really wrong with them, but I didn't like that they kind of look a little bland, the stock ones, and I wanted something that looked special, that felt better, and it's a lot cooler in terms of looks, and this fit my category perfectly. Another thing that I forgot to mention earlier, I know it's highly requested, is the white winglets on the front. They are aftermarket, and a lot of people ask me how did I get them in white, and it was a custom order through AliExpress. I just messaged this company. Their product is linked below. They don't sell the all white one for some reason, but they do sell a bunch of other colors, and you could possibly message them the way I did and pay. I think I paid like $20 more to get them custom painted white, and they look great. Again, they're a little bit off white. They don't match perfectly with the CFMOTO 450, but that's being super nitpicky about it. Again, it's a super easy install. I think it's held in by like 2 bolts and 2 plastic body fairing clips, but it fits perfectly like OEM, and it's a cheap upgrade to do. I think I paid around $55, maybe $60. But highly recommend them. Great aftermarket parts, especially if you take a slide. I see a lot of people in the group taking slides. Anyways, next up is something I really do enjoy a lot on this bike, and it's tank grips. They're only about $25. I have them in white, but the only thing I will say, if you get them in white and you wear jeans or basically anything you wear, when you're aggressively riding, the white starts to get a little bit dirty. It does come off if you scrub it with like a wet towel or something, but just keep that in mind if you do get the white. I still like the white even though it gets dirty like that, but it does change the feel of the bike and also the looks a lot. And since we're on the subject of looks again for this bike, this is super nitpicky, but if you want to spend $20 for bar ends, I got these from Spirit Beast on AliExpress again, and they look so much nicer. They're a lot shinier and more of a refined look. They look a lot better in my opinion than the stock ones. But yeah, $20 if you want to change the look of that. And this next one is another highly requested one. I'm sorry I'm just getting to this right now, but anyways, it costs around $200, a little bit over that sometimes depending on when you buy it. But it's these radiator guards that cover the stock fake carbon fiber ones. It literally just goes on top. It uses adhesive and they stick there. I'm not gonna lie, it does feel a lot pretty cheap for the price tag that they sell it as, but it does change the look of the bike a lot, and it's a glossy white, kind of a porcelain white too. Again, it's not the same white as the CFMOTO 450SS in white, so just be wary of that. But once they're on, they actually do stay on depending on how much adhesive you used. I used as much as you could. They provide it. It comes in a box with it. And they also sell it in 3 colors, which is white, the one that I have, a fake carbon fiber, and a fake forged carbon fiber. Super expensive, but I mean, I don't know, I just wanted it in white and I didn't want to spray paint it. So, and I do want to make this clear, it is not a replacement part, it is a cover. It just slides on top of the one that's already there using adhesives, and I just want to make that clear that it's a cover because I had thought it was a replacement part. Now this next one is a must-have for any motorcycle you have. This is just my opinion on it, but they're wheel axle sliders. Basically, if you go down with the bike, it's not flipping over or nothing, and your bike just slides. These will protect your frame, the front end and the rear end, from getting any damage or road rash, and you just replace them for $30. It's a lot cheaper than having to replace an entire swing arm when you could just replace these. But they can only do so much, so don't expect them to save your bike if you did something extremely stupid like running into a brick wall or something. And I can't believe I'm just remembering this right now, but it's this slip-on exhaust. I'm sorry about that again. It costs around $80. This is from KO Lightning, again from AliExpress. Highly recommend this exhaust. It works perfectly. It makes the bike sound a lot better. Here's a little sound clip for you. It sounds so much better in person, so don't take the video just for granted, but just keep in mind it is also pretty loud. You can take out the baffle to make it even louder. Some people do enjoy that sound. I have it with the baffle in, and it looks a lot better than the stock exhaust, and it sounds amazing to me. I did also want to mention that I am using the DNA air filter for the 450SS and NK. I think I paid around $110, maybe $120 for it, and it does make the bike actually feel like there's more torque. I don't know if that's a placebo effect or what, but it does feel a lot better with that filter in my opinion. And I'm not using any ECU flash or tune or nothing like that. It's completely stock ECU, and it's been running just fine for over 4,000 miles I think now. And it even pops on downshifts with this exhaust setup, and it's amazing when it does that. Okay, so this next part that I added onto this bike is a bit overkill for a 450, but I think it looks cool, so that's why more or less I did it. It's this steering dampener from Akota Racing, again AliExpress. Paid around $85 for this, and it is real carbon fiber on this tube or whatever you want to call it. And it does feel good. It makes the bike feel a lot more stable, even though I use it on the lowest setting all the time. But one thing to keep in mind is that I have heard a few people say that it starts leaking oil. I've been using it for around 6 months now, no issues at all. And it does come with adjustability, so you can adjust how stiff you want your handlebars to be. I always use it on the lowest one just because I don't think it really needs it, but it does actually still feel a lot more stable even on the lowest one, especially in like the parking lots and stuff like that. It does give me that peace of mind in case that def wobble ever does come. Hopefully it doesn't, and I hope it doesn't come for any of y'all either. But it's a super easy install. It's a little bit more complex because you gotta mess with the bolts on the forks, but just make sure you're torquing those back down to the spec and you should be good. Now this next one is a must-have if you're going places that you don't know where they are, to use GPS and stuff like that, is a QuadLock. And I'm not using the stem mount, I'm using the handlebar mount, and it's stuck in between the upper top clamp, and it fits perfectly. It doesn't move, it doesn't budge, and it's been like that since I got the bike. I put it on there as soon as I got it. And I know QuadLock is expensive, and this, trust me, this is not sponsored at all. I have no affiliate links with them or anything, but they are the best for a reason, in my opinion. My phone's never fallen off, knock on wood, and I have seen a ton of videos from other brands of their phones falling off. No hate to them or anything, but I just trust QuadLock a lot more. The only bad thing or not bad thing, however you want to take it, is that you have to use the phone case design for it. I don't really see an issue for that, but it does add up in terms of how much they cost. Now this next one is super subtle, and most people probably won't ever notice it, but they cost around $15, and they're frame plugs. On the stock bike, you can see right through the frame, through this little cylinder right here, and these plugs basically just cover that. They come in a few different colors, and I just think it's a must-have. It makes the bike look a lot more sleek, and it makes the bike look a little bit more pricier too, in my opinion, compared to seeing a hole straight through your bike. And last but not least is the most essential part you need to add to every single motorcycle you have, and that is Swingarm slider spools. Basically lets you pick your bike up using a rear stand, and it's perfect because you can clean your chain, spin the wheel freely, and it's a super cheap. It's like $6 if that. I mean, why would you not want to get these added? It makes life so much easier. And especially when you clean and lube your chain, I hope you guys are doing that every 500 miles or so, or at least every 1,000. But it just makes life so much easier. $6, must have. That's pretty much everything that I got for you. I don't think I missed anything, but if I did, comment down below. Let me know what I missed. I'll try to link that product for you in my response. But thank you for watching, guys. If you could, please leave me a like, consider subbing. I really do appreciate it, and it does help me out a ton. Till next time.